What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Tar Heel Stacking YouTube channel. So today I want to just give some updates on the silver news for today. Let me know y'all's thoughts, man. I want to start doing like these morning updates just to get the day started. Let me know how y'all feel about that. After you watch this video, let me know if you get any good stuff out of it. But I was reading a article this morning, and it's talking about how the industrial use for silver is going way down. And you hear all these other people on YouTube saying the industrial use is skyrocketing and all this, that, and the other. And then you see conflicting reports when it goes on, when it comes to the news sites. And I'm getting this off of Kitco, so, it's a pretty reputable site. And it just makes you wonder what's really going on in the silver world. It just seems so manipulated at times. It's kind of crazy. But, along with this, what it says is it says silver faces fifth annual supply deficit as industrial demand slumps. But, there's a but, investment surges. So it's basically saying that although the industrial demand is dropping, there has been so much interest in investment grade silver that it's making up for the big drop in industrial, which is incredible. You would think you would have to have a humongous surge in individual investment over, industrial, because industrial does take up a big chunk of the silver market, right? But it's interesting, because it goes on and says, as a slowing economy is taking its toll on silver's industrial consumption, with demand expected to fall by 4%. However, demand won't fall enough to reset the current imbalance in the marketplace. Last week, the Silver Institute reiterated its outlook that silver will see its fifth annual supply deficit of 95 million ounces. That's a huge amount of silver. Could you imagine having 95 million ounces of silver? Good God almighty. Although the deficit is significantly less than last year's, analysts noted that it's still enough to support prices at record highs. So that's important to take away here. So even though that there's been they're expecting a 4% decline, they're saying it's still enough to support the silver price at these levels, because there's a caveat there, because of the backing by the investments that are coming in from, the publics, which is with the ETFs and also in physical silver. And it's going to go on to say that here in a second also. And it goes on to say, although silver has twice been unable to hold gains above 54 an ounce, the selling pressure has been limited. Spot silver last traded at $50.75 an ounce, and prices are up nearly 76% so far this year. Can back in the day, not even back in the day, just a couple of years ago, silver was seen as the stable asset. It's the tortoise. It ain't moving. The chart is basically boop, 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 like this, right? People put their money. It has been up 76% this year. Now that beats a lot of even stock market investments you can make. Given the stock market has had a pretty good year this year, that's insane. 76% gain on an investment is just unreal, especially in a precious metal, which is supposed to be a stable asset, right? Like a good store value. It's just an incredible investment if you have taken advantage of that. While industrial demand has been weak, the survey shows that investment demand has more than made up for the drop. So this is what I was saying. Philip Newman, managing director of Metal Focus, the British research firm behind the annual silver survey, said that inflows into exchange-traded funds has increased by 187 million ounces so far this year. So you see people running and jumping into the ETF, the silver ETFs, which is basically helping and, counteracting the big drop in industrial demand. And it's counteracting that with the ETF buys and the money influxing into the ETFs, which 187 million ounces into ETFs is a ridiculous amount. But that's also the scary thing, right? You have all this paper silver being traded and not the physical silver. it's just a weird time we live in where stuff ain't backed by anything. It's just, it's a scary time. And that's why I will always 100% recommend buying the physical metal, right? These exchange traded funds, ETFs, you can't hold it, right? It's all digital. What happens if one day you try to log on to your brokerage account and it won't let you on, right? Or, just the economy falls, you can always log into your safe. You can always log into your physical metal, right? Always. So, just keep that in mind. It's not going to hurt to put some money in ETFs if, like you say, you have it in your IRA or your 401k and you kind of want to diversify into silver within that account, fine. But I would highly, highly recommend always purchasing the physical metal. Looking beyond investment demand, industrial consumption is expected to fall to 665 million ounces this year, down 2% from last year. This reflects the impact of global economic uncertainty stemming from tariff policies and geopolitical tensions, as well as more rapid pace of thrifting due to soaring silver prices. Finally, silver bar and silver coin demand is expected to fall by 4% to a 7-year low of 182 million ounces. So it's crazy. There's so much counterintuitive stuff going on here. It's saying investor demand is up, but it's only in the ETFs and exchange traded funds is where you see that demand for silver. You don't see it in the physical market. Like it just said, it's at a 7-year low for physical silver bar and coin demand. So guys, like I said, we're in a crazy place. Keep on stacking that physical silver and gold, because if the markets crash and the economy goes to shit, you'll always have your silver, and it's always going to be worth something. But I just thought this was interesting, and let me know y'all's thoughts down below. Do y'all like these little morning updates? Because if you do, I'm going to start doing them every morning to kind of get our day started and go over the pressing thing that I think is interesting for that day, and get our day started. Let's see what the silver price does today and this week. Keep on stacking, guys, and we'll see y'all in the next one.